Bourbon and Boxing.
What is going on, bourbon and boxing fans, man? Welcome back to another episode with your host, Big Spade and Jeff up in here.
Big
Uh,
Spade. Yeah.
man, I'll tell you what, I really I wanted to do this episode early in the week because of the all the kind of more like as a boxing fan, the emotional, like not really. I don't want to sound like a bitch, so I don't want to say emotional.
You ain't
You
that.
know what I
Nah, you
mean?
can be
It
emotional,
wasn't
man.
emotional, but it was
You
like this
know,
this hypeness that I had about this Ngannou and AJ fight, and
oh,
not
yeah,
just
yeah,
the overall thoughts, man. Like just because, man, I'll let you go first because I may end up going on a
okay.
rant, man. Because this is
Um,
something that I've been
listen,
really. I watch these shows all week. Nobody's mentioning what I really want to say about this fight. So I'll let you go ahead. What was your real thoughts on it? The AJ and Gane fight, like,
see, I missed the Tyson Fury and Gande fight. So I couldn't, off of this fight that I seen with AJ, I didn't see what everybody was talking about. So I didn't see his style and why everybody might thought he had a chance. I seen AJ dominating, like, and I just felt like UFC fighters need to stay in their lane because ain't nothing of them coming over and making no noise. Like it ain't nothing. The hype ain't what they making it be. Like they getting. If y'all gonna do that, y'all might as well try somebody that's really a boxer and trying to be pro that can make that money. If somebody gonna go out like that, like I mean the name gonna sell itself, but um I just ain't see what everybody was saying. Like, oh, he dropped Tyson Fury, so we know he gonna do this to AJ, which I think AJ had a bigger point to prove anyway. Like, damn, y'all think
yeah,
just because he
yeah,
did this to a motherfucker, then he gonna do this to me, which styles make fight.
hmm,
So ain't nobody expect AJ to dominate it. But I said on this last show, I'm going with the boxer. I'm
yeah,
not ever picking a UFC fighter over a boxer. I don't care. I don't even know that most of them guys. I don't know none of them guys to be
nah, nah,
honest. So won't ever pick a. I'm biased. Fuck it. I'm gonna say
mhm,
I'm biased. I'm not picking no UFC over no boxer. I know what a boxer, which I know it's combat sport UFC, but I know what a boxer go through the grit, the pain, the not being around their family. You gotta be in the
mhm,
gym every day.
mhm,
I know, and I just know that work they gotta put in longer rounds. You know what I'm saying? Um, and shit, I mean, for that short fight, I was happy with it because he stood on boxing. I'm gonna call it he stood
mhm.
on boxing, man. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
saying he came and showed everybody, nah, I'm gonna wipe this boy down just because I say he did this with Tyson Fury or he almost beat Tyson Fury. I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna wipe him down because I'm serious right now. And
yeah,
I feel like OJ serious right now. I'm taking boxing real, real serious.
yeah, and he absolutely is. He's impressed me from last year to this point, and to not take anything away from his performance against Ngannou, it's it should have happened. So
Yeah,
to not undermine what he did because it shows his skill level. Uh, but this fight, in my opinion, is it should have never happened. No other
yeah,
sport is somebody who just starts a sport going to come in and face the best of that sport.
yeah,
Never. And then you
yeah,
skip the
yeah.
line, and the WBC to had ranked him
What?
number 9, being
He
0
was
and
number
1.
nine.
Yeah, ranked him number 9 and said that if he won that fight, they would have ranked him number 1. And
What?
this was from the WBC president, Mario. I can't remember his name, but they were going to rank him number 1 if he won this fight.
Wait, two
Uh,
fights?
2 fights. He would have
Come
been
on,
one
man.
and
Y'all
one.
ain't doing that for nobody else, man.
No, no, and that's what I'm saying. Like that's where it gets to my point. Like this is a disgrace to boxing that we've got guys that were waiting in line, and I've been an advocate for Hergovic to get his opportunity. And
Mm-hmm.
even this week, they showed the rankings. They got Parker over him. They got Wilder over him. They got Zhang over him. He beat Zhang.
Mm-hmm.
Wilder lost terribly to fucking Parker. And I give Parker credit for his last 2 wins, but Hergovic is undefeated and obviously should be the number 4 heavyweight in boxing. And because this bullshit we have here, this guy's setting to the side, which this could have been a fight that actually meant more for boxing, is I guess is what I'm really getting around to. Instead of this being a wasted week on AJ fighting Ngannou, it should have been a week where boxing, the heavyweight division, could have really set the standard on who's 1 through 4. You could have had Hergovich coming in fighting AJ, who absolutely deserved it. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And then still had the undercard Parker Zhang. But once again, a real boxer who worked his ass off to get to where he was in Hergovic has been left out because that's the way boxing is. It has no reform, it has no structure, and it is hurting the sport to the point that until it does that, boxing's not. I mean, Ngannou came over and made $28 million off the sport of boxing for 2 motherfucking fights, dude. For 2 fights, and we've got guys who have been going since the amateurs, the Olympics, the juniors, and they don't get that fucking payday.
And they don't get like, come on, man.
Yeah, so we got. I mean,
You got Shakur Stevenson. He ain't got that payday yet. Like, come
exactly.
on,
Guys who absolutely deserve to get that opportunity that are
man.
just getting skipped over by MMA guys coming to our sport.
That's
My
niggas
thing is to
terrible.
MMA fighters, this is what I'm going to say to all MMA fighters, to all MMA fans. Number one, just stay in your lane, stay in the sport of the MMA, UFC, wherever you're at, Prime, whoever you're with, but advocate for a better payday in your sport since you can't get it.
Yeah,
Advocate for it. Then rather than jumping ship to come here to fight in boxing, jump the line, get an opportunity you don't truly deserve, and make money and jump away from the sport. You're not
that's basically
advocating.
like,
Yeah, they're
my
not
bad.
advocating for the sport of boxing. They're not doing anything that's good for
Yeah,
the sport of boxing. Like nothing in Ghana. And Ghana didn't advocate for boxing. Oh, I wanted to be a boxer when I was young.
yeah.
No,
But that's like me coming to a job. You got me on, and a manager put you next in line to be. You should be next in line to be the manager. But I work 2 weeks, and they talking about, do you want to be the
yeah, yeah,
manager?
yeah, yeah, and then they jump
Like,
dude
bro,
over you, and you're gonna
like
be
what
like,
the fuck?
you
He
gonna feel
should have fought
exactly, yeah.
Andy.
You're
He
gonna,
should have fought Andy Ruiz or some shit.
yeah,
You
you're gonna
jumped
feel
all
some type
that,
of way.
and then you were gonna
Guys
be
like
number 1.
Ruiz on the outside not getting that opportunity right now, can't get a fight, but we can get Ngannou a fight. But my whole thing is boxing, boxers,
That's
the
that
only
money.
way, like Teddy Atlas has talked about reforming the sport of boxing. He's got a petition. He's been going for 2 years now on reforming the sport of boxing. His idea is to make a sanctioning body, and it starts here in the U.S. Basically, get a reform, get a sanctioning body that calls all the shots, sets up the fights, make sure fights happen, make sure rules are being followed, judges are being held accountable for bad judging, refs are being held accountable for, calls that they make in the ring, all that kind of stuff. But for 2 years, he's gotten really nowhere with this reform. And it got me thinking, you have to start with the fighters. It has to start with the fighters doing a union like every other sport. The NFL, Major League Baseball, all these major sports only got better and the players got more power when they did what? They unionized.
Yeah.
They came together as one and
But
then they
boxing got
started
a union though, don't they?
controlling. No, boxing has nothing, dude. Boxing
So
is a
what's that?
wild, wild west, bro. Like you have, like there's no like how you got the collective bargaining agreements that you have in you know basketball and shit like that. You have nothing like that in boxing, man. It's literally so open, no rules, no sanctioning. You have the only sanctioning bodies you have are the sanctioning bodies that are the belt people. And they all have their own rules, and nobody follows the other guy's rules. The IBO doesn't recognize the WBA fucking rules. None of the WBO doesn't recognize the WBC. None of that recognizes the other one, right? So it's just everybody out for themselves. And then you have this list of your promoters, your trainers, your platforms, your coaches, and then your boxers getting paid. Like the guy who's going in the ring risking his
Rest
life
of his
is the
life.
guy
Yeah, I didn't have to
getting
say.
paid dead last.
Yeah.
Like that's where it's 2024. There's no such thing as, even when you're going, like, it's so easy to get like an educated mind. You can go on fucking the internet and Google anything to educate yourself on if you're not for sure about it, right? You can Google shit, all that kind of stuff. So I don't believe, like, because we know that boxing is predominantly poverty, right? A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people that come into boxing come from poor neighborhoods, stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. They're raised and they don't have a lot. So
Yeah.
it's always put back to,
Exactly.
well, we're not educated enough to know what to do or not to let managers and promoters. To me, that's bullcrap at this point in time. In 2024, everybody is educated enough
Yeah.
at this point.
Floyd.
You know what I mean? To know. And
Floyd.
yeah,
Damn.
yeah, and Floyd set the blueprint, and why so many people didn't follow it. Devin Haney setting a blueprint that more people should follow. Sugar Ray Leonard did it in the 80s. He didn't ever sign a manager. He only had a lawyer look over every contract he ever had. He never had a manager, and a lawyer took care of all the paperwork and told him, well, this is good or this is bad, yay or nay. Uh, so I don't know why these guys aren't deciding, hey, we need to unionize. Once they unionize and become more of a group and organize to kind of be there for each other,
Yeah.
then you gain more power in the sport. Then you start having more say. You no longer let these platforms hold everybody hostage. Top Rank doesn't want to work with Matchroom. PBC doesn't want to work with Top Rank. It handicaps boxing so bad.
Yeah.
And it's so bad for the sport that, and it's so obvious at this point in 2024, like, it's like we are the wild, wild west of sports.
Yeah.
So at some point, I think these guys just have to, before I go on a long rant and just and not really get into the Ngannou fight and AJ fight without overlooking it. I just think that this should be an eye-opening experience for boxers and the sport of boxing, that we're allowing guys to come in, skip the reins, get opportunities they do not deserve, while we're watching other guys sit on the sideline and not get that opportunity when they put all the work in to it. I don't
Right.
care if you look at Hergovic and say, well, he's only beaten Zhang. That's his biggest win. It doesn't matter. That dude started amateur, worked his way through his rankings, earned
Yeah.
his way to a top 5 ranking,
Yeah.
top 10 heavyweight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he put the work in. It's not like he
Right.
came from MMA and tried to skip into the sport. So I
Right.
think boxing has to fix that somehow, some way. And if they ever do, it's going to make the sport so much motherfucking better. I told my guy at work, I said, I want to be the Jimmy Hoffa of fucking boxing.
Mm.
Unionize this motherfucker. He was like, you know what happened to Hoffa, don't you? I said, it doesn't matter. Hoffa still got shit done. He unionized this country, got better pay for people. He ended up in a ditch somewhere, but the motherfucker, he accomplished what he set out to accomplish, and
Right.
they couldn't stop it once it got rolling. But
Mm.
that's the danger, and to doing that too, though, is that there's a lot of people who aren't going to allow that. The
Right.
big money people, they don't want to hear that. They don't want boxers to get smarter.
Nah, hell no. Hell no, they don't, man. It's just crazy though how damn man, that shit crazy, man. That's just like me. I'm coming off the street into the NBA. Like, they don't even know. They just know I know how to hoop from the street. They don't know if I got an NBA league game, but you got people in the G League that probably better than me. Play every day.
Yeah.
Yes, and I get to the NBA over them.
Yeah,
And
and it
I
would
ain't
be
did
like
nothing but
somebody. Yeah,
playing a few games off the street at Rucker Park or something. You feel me?
yeah, it's
Nah, man.
equivalent
It's
to,
levels, man. It's levels to
it's a
shit, man.
yeah,
You
exactly,
should
and
be able to skip them levels, man.
yeah, and to watch these boxing shows this week that I watched, and none of them really hit on it. Like, that should have been the biggest talk, that this fight should have never happened. But what happened all week? Every one of these guys hyped Ngannou, made everybody think this dude had an
They
opportunity
don't even
when
hype the
I was
boxers. They don't even hype boxers that
exactly. You don't hype
that
your own people in your own sport that way. So to me,
yeah.
I was telling everybody they're putting too much on that Fury fight. And I was making it clear,
Right.
I think I didn't see and get AJ knocking him out that bad, but I was
And
like,
guess
"Look,
what though?
AJ is an active guy. He's gonna go into this fight ready," and he exposed every bad footwork, bad handwork, slow. He exposed everything about Ngannou, and
Nah,
it showed that a guy who is active like him, which would be half the pro boxers out there that aren't even on AJ status, I feel would do this. Big Baby Anderson would probably do Ngannou in. You know what I
right.
mean? He's an active duty, stays in the gym and shit like that.
Andy
But
Ruiz to doing. Like,
yeah,
come on.
Andy Ruiz, exactly.
They talking about just power. Like, oh, you got power. What about the fundamental skills of boxing?
Yeah.
Like the
Well, it was
combination throwing.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Oh, power only lasted so far. Look at Deontay Wilder. Like, that
yeah,
shit lasts
yeah,
for so long. Man.
yeah. And then once you get in there with real guys who understand and have an IQ level, like we say it every time on this sport, there are levels to this sport. And
Right.
people think it's just two guys in the ring being barbaric, and that's how boxing's looked at. Anybody who sits down and watches a sport, we watch it for the sweet science of the sport, and
Yeah.
that's because there's nothing better than seeing a technician in the ring just dismantling a fucking guy, and the guy's like, "What the fuck?" And I like Crawford Spence. That
Right.
was a technician. That
Right.
was the level that we talk about in the sports that even Spence is at, like, this level, but when we talk about levels, Crawford is like that level, and unless
Mhm.
you see it and know the sport and what you're looking at, you don't understand that aspect of it, and boxing's just
Right.
look at it as, "Oh, well, that's boring. I wanna see somebody get knocked out." Don't we all? But I love a good fight that where 2 guys are in there beating the shit out of each other, honestly. I want 12 rounds of 2 guys going at it, you know what I mean? And that's my favorite type of fights.
Right.
Both are technician style fighters, but, you know, I don't know, I just think boxing was highly disrespected the last couple weeks by not just MMA fans, by casual fans, but also by Ngannou himself talking about it's like getting hit with pillows. Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess it
Okay.
is. You just went nap, so I guess it is
Nah,
like
we
getting
went
hit with
not
pillows.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess you got a nice pillow. But, just basically saying if there wasn't boxing rules, well, you're coming into boxing. This is boxing rules. Let's
Yeah,
not
you
talk
can't be
about
coming over
how
here
bad
and
it was.
disrespecting.
Bullshit that is. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I would do it to the cage with you. Well, this ain't the cage, motherfucker. You chose to come into the ring. So this is the rules. You know the rules. And if that's not what you like, then go back to MMA, where you're not gonna make $28 million for 2 fights. Ain't never gonna happen.
Mhm.
But yeah, without spending too much time on that fight, man, what was your thoughts on the Parker Zhang fight?
Oh, I think I like Parker a little bit more now.
He
Uh,
showed
um, he got boxing skill.
mhm,
Dude, way bigger. He got boxing skills. Dude dropped him. James dropped him, but
it
he
was his only
outboxed
good
him.
punches.
He
Yeah,
outboxed him, man. Like,
yeah,
and just because you get knocked down don't mean shit to me. And he proved that too. Just because I get knocked down twice, okay, that's a knockdown. That's a point. Wow, boom.
yeah,
But I'm gonna
yeah,
show y'all the heart, the confidence, the grit, and the grind I got. And I ain't gonna
yeah,
let that shit discourage me because I got knocked down to get up and keep boxing you. And
yeah.
dude, I don't know. I never really seen him fight, but I don't know if he lost his stat or he was kept just looking for that big punch. But I ain't really see that much. I did a little bit, but as the rounds went on, it was like he was losing gas, breathing hard. You know what
Well,
I'm saying?
that's what I loved about Parker the most. Not just impressed with his ability to stick with it and be the more aggressor in the ring, the better boxer. The knockdowns weren't the bigger difference in the fight. He knew that. He knew getting out, even if he got knocked down, he knew if he got up and he still continued to fight his style, that he was going to have an opportunity to still win that fight. I love that,
Right.
but I love more that he listened to everything his corner said. His corner
Yeah.
said the first 30 seconds. he's going to give you everything, and then he's going to gas out.
Yeah.
Let him the first 30 seconds take those punches. He's gonna and this guy and I saw him do the same thing in the Wilder fight. They were giving him instruction and he was following every fucking instruction that
Yeah.
his corner was telling him. Go out there and do this. He was doing it. So
Also,
and he got a bad rep, not really a bad rep, but he kind of got wrote off when he lost to Joe Joyce. Who's to me, I'm not a big Joyce fan, kind of stone foot. That's who Zhang beat. Once again, styles make fights. Zhang
mhm.
absolutely destroyed Joyce, made it look easy, but it was within 5 rounds. And we saw Zhang just after 4 rounds, he was gassed, bro. I saw him going back, taking deep
Yeah,
breaths,
like that.
in the
Yeah,
middle of the fight
that's
in the
exactly
ring,
how he was
taking a
breathing,
big
just
breath,
like
and I
that.
was like, "He's
Yeah,
done. He's tired.
but
Like,
he's
this is where you
40
take."
though, too though. Like he's
Yeah, and
40.
that's what I told everybody. It could be a bad thing for him that Joyce fight kinda put him on the map, but he lost to Hrgovic, his only other
And I
top
don't be
10
liking
fight.
how heavyweights be coming in, not in shape.
Well,
Like that shit
exactly,
be
dude.
looking
He was
crazy,
yeah, he
bruh.
was definitely sloppy looking in that. He
Why,
wasn't
like, why
super out
y'all
of
look
shape,
like
but
that? Like,
yeah, and
how
knowing
hard y'all
that
be working? Like,
well, I think with Zhang, he lays so much that he has all the boxing ability. He has good handwork. He's got a nice uppercut, a nice hook, all the you know attributes to boxing. But he depends so much on one punch and getting the fight over with early that if you drag him out to deep waters, you're going to beat him every time. He's never going to win a 12-round fight, a 10-round fight. You're going to take him every single time, and
right,
that's for him. You would think at some point he would work on that. Like that would be his main objective. That he's got to be able to go more rounds, especially when you're fighting the top fighter. You're not going to get Fury out with one punch. You're not going to get Joshua out with one punch. You're not Usyk. All these top guys, they're going to, take you out to deep waters. And if you don't have the stamina, then then you're not going to be able to compete with the top guys in the sport. Uh,
right.
but yeah, super impressed with Parker, man. That's his fourth straight fight that he's won since a loss. He's kind of getting his get back like
Seem
Joshua.
like you get what do you think? Not to cut you out, but you probably
Uh,
seen him a little bit more than me. Do you think he getting better?
he seemed to me, honestly, I expected him to decline. I jumped off the ship with him. I was never really like a big Parker fan, right? When he lost to Joyce, I was like, man, that was a bad loss, and he kind of looked old and slower because he is an older fighter. So I was like, man, he looks old and slow. He's declining, and that's just how I took it. But then he's kind of done exactly what Anthony Joshua's done his last 4 to 5 fights. He's looked better and better each fight. His fight against Deontay Wilder, super impressed with how he fought that fight, and then what he did here, he definitely looks to be getting better, and that's weird.
I
You know what I
like
mean?
him.
Yeah, that means he's listening. That he that's a smart dude that knows
That'd
that
be a nice
okay,
fight for Jared Anderson.
Jared Anderson, I believe also, but they're saying they want to match him and AJ up next before the Fury and Gane or Fury versus Usyk fight.
Ooh, that'd be ooh. I
Yeah,
think
him and
I like that
Joshua.
because they both box me. Ooh,
Well,
that'd be a nice
here's my
fight,
thing,
bro.
if I'm correct, Joshua
I
already
watch
beat
that.
him. Joshua
For
beat
real?
him already, yeah,
Parker?
years ago. I wanna say 3 or 4 years ago, yeah, he beat Parker. Yeah, so I don't know if it's they're both seem to be a lot better than they were at that point.
Yeah,
I mean,
like it
Joshua
seemed
was good,
like
but Joshua is really built, so I think it would still be
yeah.
a fight that
I
we're gonna
think it'd
wanna
be a good
watch.
fight, even though
Yeah,
if you wouldn't have told me that, I mean, with you telling me that, I still watch it, like, cause I didn't see it. I mean, I don't
yeah,
know. I
yeah,
mean, like I want to see that. Like, it just makes
yeah, yeah.
sense right now. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
like
That's a fight that I think they should make, in between that fight because what's gonna happen with Usyk Fury is that's an automatic rematch clause, so we know that anybody in line to fight for the winner of that
gotta
is not
wait.
gonna be till next year. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna be waiting. So are you gonna set the rest of the year out? Joshua, I think, is too active. Parker's too active. Uh, but to me, one of these guys had to fight Hrgovic at some point. So, that's my thing is that Hrgovic is also at some point got to get an opportunity because he seen him at number. I think they had him at number 5. I was like, what the fuck? Like he beat Parker, uh,
Yeah.
he beat Zhang, so he should definitely be up in that fourth spot under. I would still put him under Joshua, because I would think Joshua might beat him, in my opinion.
Yeah,
So
I mean, because I like the way Joshua looked at man. He looked like he's serious, like oh man, I only and it was so crazy. I really never seen him. I missed the Usyk fight a couple years ago. I was on the road. I didn't catch that. I think I seen the second fight with Andy US. Um, but I ain't never seen him fight. But I liked it. I like how he looked against a
yeah,
good or whatever, and they was hyping him up. And then I'm thinking about the styles. Like, okay, he a boxer. He a boxer. That'd be a good technician
yeah,
fight. Like
yeah, because they're
somebody
gonna
get
go at
picked up.
each
Yeah,
other, and
go
you see
go
the
at each
heart that
other.
Parker has,
Yeah,
and
he got hard.
so
Yeah,
yep, yep. They
he
both
got
have
hard,
seen the
man.
build
I like
their
dude,
heart and
man.
their chin, so that'd be a hell of a fight. So I wouldn't mind seeing that next at all,
Like
for
like
sure.
after Deontay Wilder fight, I'm like, ah, okay, Deontay Wilder. But
Somebody
after
said
when he
they're
fought
trying
this
to.
fight, I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, somebody said that they do still want to make the Joshua Wilder fight.
no.
Wilder to
Wilder needs to
me,
sit his ass
Wilder
down.
needs to do what Joshua and Parker did. Go back, rebuild yourself. Wilder, I'll tell you what's wrong with Wilder. He's got
He
to
need to
find the
fight
dog.
his fight. He need to
He
fight his
got
fight.
yeah, he got to be that brutal street fighter. For getting the opportunity, I think Wilder just needs to start all over, find the dog in himself, uh, be the
Do
brawler
you need
that
to
he was
fight?
because he's just
Okay, you said it, but I
he's
was
got to
gonna
be a
go ahead.
brawler, man. He can't be
Okay,
a
yeah.
technician south. I think it's too late for him to learn how
Yeah.
to become a
Just watch
boxer.
how you fight, man.
Yeah, yeah,
That
exactly.
be that be like a motherfucker. Oop, well, excuse my language, but that'd be like a person in your ear, like telling you what you should do.
Yeah,
Sometimes what you don't have is what you just don't have. Like
exactly.
I can't
Yeah,
tell a person that been hooping 25 years and now, oh bro, you need to get it right here. He's not used to that. That's gonna take him away from what his strength is, because he's gonna be trying to focus on this. So ever since Wilder lost to Tyson Fury, people, oh, he need to learn how to box, getting in his ear. So now that's been what he
yeah.
was trying to do, but that ain't you, bro.
Well,
That ain't your style, bro. Like
here's a,
everybody's. Go ahead.
here's another thing. I feel like bringing in, like, if he really truly wanted to learn how to box. Now, this is not like, I know a lot of trainers weren't the best boxers career wise.
Right,
Uh,
right. That don't mean
he
shit to me.
so it doesn't really ever mean much. But I felt like Malik Scott just hasn't been the coach that he needed to teach him true boxing. Like if he was to bring like a Teddy Atlas in or a Bo Mack or fucking, Derek James, those guys who really like have been long time
Yeah,
trainers, not a first time trainer. That's my thing. Not saying Malik Scott couldn't be a good trainer. He was new and he was just as raw as far as like he was as raw as a coach as Wilder was a boxer. So to
right.
me, maybe he should have reached out to more experienced trainers
Can I
to
can I
say,
ask
"Man,
you
I
something?
really want to learn from you guys."
Can I
Go
ask you
ahead.
something?
Go ahead.
Okay. Now we boxing. Me and you, we fight. We boxing. I fight you. You you beat me. Would you hire me as your trainer?
If I seen something like I don't know, man, I would. I think he like.
I,
What did you see? Like, and what the thing was is he not only beat Malik Scott, but he knocked him
hold
out
on,
in one round.
hold on. I got another one. Okay, you got Malik Scott. All right, listen. We boxers, we in the same weight class. You beat me. Would you hire me as your trainer? A guy that you beat. And I was listening to the Part of Way podcast this week. They was basically, I heard, I don't know if it was with the two T's and they had somebody, a comedian on there, but they was saying how Malik was a fall man. Like he basically lost on purpose, basically, to Deontay Wilder. But hold on, my question was though, the bypass that that's just what you know what I mean? That's just part of
Mhm.
what I'm saying for him being the coach for Deontay Wilder. Or would you come to this era, probably the best ever? I'm gonna say the best ever. Floyd Mayweather, uh, give you an invitation to train you, or would you go with a person you beat?
Uh, I'm going to Floyd. I'm going to
Oh,
the guy
that
knows
no
boxing.
boxing,
He
that once
knows,
had power in
and
his
he
hands.
sees shit differently than like if if Floyd gets in when he's training and you have an opportunity to go with a guy you just beat in the ring in one round, and then or Floyd Mayweather, you got to go with fucking Floyd. And if you
Hey,
don't, that's an ego thing. That's you thinking that you're
no,
too good, that you're, you know,
no. And you just hold on. And you just said it. I felt like he felt that he was gonna be better than Floyd. He was gonna surpass Floyd. I swear. I think he was on the verge of saying he was the best boxer. I'm telling you, it was an ego thing. It was something
yeah, yeah,
about him. Like, okay, I'm gonna beat his record, or I'm gonna get past these guys and I'm gonna start calling myself the best. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm the greatest. Like,
yeah.
I'm undefeated. Look what I did in boxing. You know what I'm saying? Can't nobody
Yeah,
but
yeah, and I did
but
it
then
with Malik Scott, not this dude,
yeah,
and he would get more credit if he did it with a guy like Malik Scott,
yeah.
somebody nobody knows, and then they're like, "Oh, well,
That's
he
that
did it with,
pride shit.
he must be a
Kobe,
genius. He saw Malik Scott's
Kobe
skill."
always was asking Jordan about the game. And he still
Exactly,
wanted to be better than
exactly,
Jordan. Don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying?
exactly. Yeah,
Come
yep.
on, man.
Yeah,
Come
you
on,
gotta
man.
take what's around you and utilize it
Yeah.
100%, and if you had any opportunity to get trained by Floyd Mayweather and you pass that up, that's a whole ego thing, and you going to a guy like Malik Scott says
We
that you
talking
knew
about
that you would have number 1, you'd have more say on what went on and that you can control Malik Scott. You know, a guy like Floyd, he's gonna tell you when you're fucking up, when you're doing wrong, and we also know, I think, Floyd is, such a disciplined human being. And I don't
yeah.
think people really realize that his mental to his drive, what he knows what he wants to do from the minute he wakes up in the morning to the minute he goes to sleep type shit. Right? He's
And
very
this though.
calculated. He's very business sense, and he knows that Wilder Wilder probably knew he didn't have the discipline for a guy like Floyd.
And this though. You're talking about a guy that's coming to help you that the best ever had damn near two careers in boxing. You could split Pretty Boy and
Yeah, yeah,
Floyd Money.
yeah,
Then you talking about a guy that had power, lost the power because his hands was brittle, changed his whole style up. You want to go train with this man? I'm going to train with him, man.
yeah. All day, every day. If I
All
got that
these young boys,
invitation,
and you
I
know it's
mean,
an ego thing, because all these young boys that
yeah,
let Floyd,
yeah,
man, Keyshawn John, man, yeah, I mean, Devin Haney, Tank, like all these boys that be going to Floyd and getting games with Floyd, Ryan
yeah,
Garcia,
yeah.
he
Ryan
all
Garcia. They
he
go and they
let
talk
going,
to.
boy. He let
Yeah.
you feel
I
me?
think
Like, come
I
on,
think
bro.
I think Ryan signs with Mayweather when he's out, when he's done with Golden Boy. This is his last fight
Listen,
with Golden
he
Boy.
better win.
If
He
he
better win.
loses, then Money may not want to fuck with him, but Money knows money. And even if Ryan loses, he's still got that yuppie that yuppie social media following that
Yeah,
if
but
you
that
get
shit
him
gonna
in
go
there,
away,
but
bro. I'm gonna tell
let's
you
say,
why.
well, hold on. Let's say he loses against a guy like Devin, but then he wins 3 straight fights against, mediocre fighters. You set it up, you make him look good, you rebuild that brand, right? He's always gonna be able to rebuild his brand, I think, because, he's got that social media following, that type of shit. But I don't know. I think
Can I say something real
go
quick?
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
All the mental shit he been doing though, bro. Like all the
He's trying to
foofy
get
shit.
out of this
Like,
fight, bro.
yeah, but I'm fuck that.
I'm
I'm saying
telling everybody.
mentally, you ain't strong for this shit.
No, because he's
Physical,
spending more time with that than he is Devin's in the gym right now.
damn.
He ain't fucking on social media, giving a
And
fuck
then
what people think or
we
trying to
don't
tell
know where
people
your mind gonna
where
go if you do lose this fight. We don't
he's
even know
gonna
if
if
you
he
still
loses
gonna
the
want to
fight
fight.
mentally.
Then
Mentally,
and then, not only that, you done did so much bullshit
mhm.
like on social media,
Everybody
all
gonna look
type
at
of
you like
weird
a
shit.
weirdo.
We
Everybody,
looking at you different now. Like,
yeah.
is you serious about this shit? Like, you
I
signing a paper note? Oh, your boy's right. Oh, man, you supposed to already be built like that. It
yeah.
ain't no, oh yeah. I mean, yeah, you got people around you, but you supposed to be built like that. They
I'm
should
gonna
have
tell
to
you
actually
now.
sign no contract, waiting up contract that they made. You're supposed to be
Yeah.
built like that. When you got something on the line, you already lost to somebody that's a top dog. Like
Yeah.
you gotta be built for this shit, bro. It ain't no you playing with this shit, acting like this shit, doing this shit, and man, you gotta be serious about this shit, man. You gotta love this
Yeah.
shit. You gotta breathe this shit. You gotta vote this shit, bro. Like, and
I'm gonna tell you now.
how he going out, bro, and how he was going out, and I seen the written contract that Jeff wrote for me. Even though you my dog,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I, man, you should have to come to me and make me sign no written contract. This is what I
exactly.
should be doing. You should
Yeah,
come to
yeah.
me and be like, hey, bro, get your motherfucking shit together, bro. You tripping, bro. You gonna
Like
get your shit together
you
or not,
making
or you
us
gonna lose,
well,
bro.
well, because regardless
And
of
you
what he
doing it for
wants
the
to think
internet, though, man.
and
Like that
being your
shit
own human,
corny.
he still represents Golden Boy. So Golden Boy has a right to protect the brand. And him right now representing the brand of Golden Boy is bad for Golden Boy. I think they want this get this fight with Devin over. I think they know he's gonna that there's a 60% chance he loses this fight, probably 70% chance. I give him a 30% chance to win this
Mhm.
fight. I give 70-30 in favor of Devin.
Why though? Why? Skill,
Because
mental,
Devin not
what?
just skill level, not just the skill level, because the bad part is Garcia possesses all the skills. He doesn't possess the IQ.
Mental
That
IQ. Yeah, I meant to say
that
that.
is
IQ. What
flawed.
about mental though? What about mental? That's a big part, bro.
Mentally, you can get him out of his game. We saw that. Like, think for instance, this is where everybody should have saw it. I saw before the Tank fight. I've heard him in interviews, and you see him. He's number one. He doesn't come off as a genuine person. He comes off very fake, depending on where he's at, what
Cause
show
he
he's
do it for the
doing.
internet, man.
When he's on a
Everything
hip
keep
hop
posting
show,
it.
when he's on a hip hop show, he tries to act like he's ghetto. And then when he's on just a regular, he's just, "Hey guys, how we doing today?" And you're like, "What happened to that voice I heard when you were on, the show the other day?" But he comes off very fake and ingenuine. And like you said, it's all social media bullshit. But I saw the weakness in him in the Tank fight big time when Joe Goosen told him in the corner, all right, you're establishing your jab. Continue to do what you're doing. You're gonna set it, but we need you to set up that punch. But you got to continue to do what you did in that first round. Go out in the second round, do the same thing. This motherfucker went in the second round and just started throwing punches at Tank. Remember,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
throwing,
yeah.
and I'm like, this motherfucker went out and did the complete opposite of what his corner just told him. This is why Joe Goosen wasn't at his fucking after press conference bullshit. He was like, fuck that. I'm not going to coach some kid that ain't going to listen to a word I say.
But
And
nah,
that
you don't do
shows
your
a lot of
fighter like
fucking
that.
mental.
You don't.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
don't
but you
want
don't
that.
do your fighter like that though.
You
Being
don't
a
know.
coach,
And
you be there, man.
I agree that Golden Boy should have been there, Oscar and them should
I'm
have been
getting
there,
up.
and
Listen,
Goosen
I'm
should have
getting
been
on
there.
your ass.
It was
I
not a
can't
good
wait.
look
I'm
on
going
their
to this
part.
press conference. I can't wait till we get out this press conference and go in this motherfucker locker room. Matter of
Well,
fact, I need
but
all
if you've
y'all the fuck
seen,
out of here for 10
yeah,
minutes. I'm gonna tell him something. And this is what how I feel too. Derek James ain't the coach for him because he ain't putting his foot down. Where is you at as a coach?
he's got so
You need
much
to
going
be.
on. I
You
don't think
supposed to
he has
have
that.
him locked in the closet,
Like,
like
shut the
yeah,
fuck
I ain't
up.
got nothing
Focus
going
on
on right
training.
now. I mean, he
Yeah.
got Frank Martin right now, but
Well, he got
still, it's
Martin. Well,
like
the Charlo brother
you
that's
you don't
tagging
treat one fighter
Arrow.
better than the next, bro. You treat your
Yeah.
fighters the same,
Yeah.
bro. Even
Yeah.
if you might like this fighter better, you keep that between you, the Most High, and your heart. You don't let that be known to your fighter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You make them feel like they all treated as that one person.
Yeah.
Like Derek James, like you supposed to be there, like as a coach. I don't man, all that fuck shit he doing.
Yeah.
You
Yeah. I
know what
think
I'm saying? I don't
he's
know, man. I
definitely
just don't. I
he.
think Derek James, like I can't wait to this shit over with. I swear
Yeah.
that's how
I
that's
think
the
he
face I
probably
get.
is. Once he took it, I think he saw it in that fight against Oscar Duarte when he started doing that weird
That
ass
shoulder
shoulder
roll,
to the
man, what
back.
are you doing? What are
And
you
Derek's like,
doing?
and he goes back to the corner, and Derek's like, "Stop, stop, don't do that. Like, what are you doing?" And you know what that was is he didn't know how to protect against an attack. How long has this guy been in a boxing that when Duarte was pressuring and coming on and attacking him, instead of figuring out how to counter and defense that, his only defense was to go into a weird shoulder roll back type thing, and it didn't make any sense to me. But you saw Derek James get him out of it at one point. He said, "Stop, back up, establish your jab, let him come to you and set up that counter." And that's exactly how he won the fight. But it took Derek James to say, "Look, dude, like you got, I don't know what the fuck you're doing here. Like, just stop." But to me, that showed another case of not listening to your trainer because he would have never told you to go out and do that. That was him just
Right.
going out and doing what he wanted to do. But uh, I just think what he's doing right now is all a show to get out of this Devin fight. He knows one more loss on his record's not going to favor him, especially if
Mhm.
it's a bad loss. And I think Devin, we say it throughout the show, levels, levels, levels. Devin's that level, and
Yeah.
Garcia's not that level because Devin
Devin
has
started back. Devin started back growing on me. But this what I say, man. I think they know how to pick the right fighters, man. Like I
yeah,
really, really
yeah.
think they know how to pick the right fighters. Which boxing is boxing. You boxing. I don't feel like it's a right or wrong fighter. You
Mhm.
is who you are. I'm
If you're
coming to
doing it,
get
the
you.
dudes with the belt,
Yeah.
you're doing it right. That means
But
they're saying, "Hey, they got the belt. They think they're good. Let's see how good they are." Even
yeah,
like you said, he knows
Devin
the
grew on
style.
me. Devin grew back on me. I don't like some of the shit, the tactics and shit he was doing. I wasn't feeling it at first. I probably was being biased, but he grew on me because I could see him. He taking it somewhere else, man. Like he doing it.
Yeah,
Like he doing it. Like he chasing. He giving me that
yeah,
Kobe
that
Bryant, that
go
Kobe.
out.
He giving me that Kobe, man. Like for
Yeah,
instance, for say Floyd is Jordan, man.
yeah.
He taking that
Strive,
blueprint and
strive for
that shit.
greatness.
Man,
Yeah,
listen, man. Yes, and he got his daddy behind him, like
yeah, and he got a
talking
good
that
dad.
shit.
His
Like
dad
I'm
100%
a
supports him. You know what I
yeah.
mean? And he supports him
Behind
in a
my
good
son.
way that he started him in boxing, but he knew that I want to send him to Floyd Senior. I want to send him to fucking
And you know what's
uh,
so crazy?
Garcia. I want to send him to all these different dudes to learn all this different styles. And you've seen him grow more and more every fight. He seems to be more in control. Like that Regis Prograde fight impressed me so much on just how much he dominated that whole fight. Like,
Yeah.
dude stood not a chance from the beginning of the bell. He established that dominance from bell one, and he showed that I can fight off my back foot, I can fight off my front foot, I can chase you down, we can meet in the middle of the ring. My hands are faster, they're better, my footwork's better than yours. I'm gonna outdo you every time. If we go 12 rounds, no one in 12 rounds, no one's beating Devin Haney. He's gonna outbox you. If you don't get him early, knock him out, land a big punch, he's gonna outbox you because he's
Yeah.
that level. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I just he grew back on me, man. I just like the route he taking, and I see the Kobe in him. I see that Mamba mentality in
Yeah.
him.
He wants
I'm
the best.
seeing it.
He wants to be that
I
champ. He wants
see
to
it.
be. I
Yeah,
want to unify this
I see
division. I'm
it.
going to go to 147. I'm
I
going to
see
unify
it.
147.
I ain't gonna say
And
I'm putting him over my guys or none of that, but I see the hunger, the mama mentality. Like, and then when you got your dad behind you, ain't the best. That's the best feeling in the world.
yeah,
Everybody, oh, his daddy talk for him. And da-da-da. Man, look, I used to hoop. I wasn't no vocal talker when it was time to play. But guess what? When it was time for me to play, guess what? My daddy, he'd be the talker.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, oh, this
Yeah,
dude, man.
yeah, and he was there to support you in that, and that's strong for
Yeah.
anybody. Like I said with Lopez, like I feel like his dad, I like the relationship they have, and that's never going to be severed. Lopez has made it clear that hey, my dad's always going to be in my corner. They have that type of relationship with each other. But the difference in Haney's dad and Lopez's dad is I feel like Haney's smart enough to step back, let the trainers do what they do, let the coaches do what they do, give his son advice when he needs to give him the advice. You know what I mean? But lets other people do their job, and he doesn't set back as a hype man. Like if his son, like I've never seen Devin out of sorts, so it's hard for me to say what kind of advice his dad would give him in that type of. But he just seems more collective headed, more narrow, more collected with himself than a Lopez is, who's more of a hothead, not much control over what he does, and then his dad doesn't help much. in his corner with being a hype man. But yeah, that's just to me. But it's still a good thing having your father. So no doubt about
Yeah,
that.
and not like having your father, man.
All right. Let's get into. I'll name off some undercard, man. I thought Nick Ball beat Ray Vargas, but I also thought that he kind of lost the fight in the early rounds when he didn't come about. That was a pretty good little fight. Little net. Little, did you see the little dude Nick Ball fighting the 5'10", 5? It was like 5'3" versus 5'10".
No,
It,
I ain't even
I,
see that
it
stuff.
came down to a draw, which Vargas kept his belts, but I thought Nick Ball won the fight. In my opinion, he came a long
I
way.
got a question for you. I
What
ain't
is
mean to
it?
cut you off. I got a question for you. I've been thinking about this because I don't want to forget. I want to say it last on my
Okay,
mind.
yeah, yeah.
You ever seen the Zapaya dual fight before?
Who is it?
Zapaya, your dual
Zapaya.
boy,
No, no,
Zapaya.
no. I'll have to. I would probably have to see him to know. The
Because they
name doesn't
talking
ring a bell.
he talking about Oscar was talking about how he wants Shakur and stuff. I think he supposed to be fighting. I forgot. It was an
Oh, you're talking
interview.
Zapata. Zapata,
Yeah,
William Zapata. Yeah, I'm a
yeah,
big William Zapata fan. I on my Bourbon and Boxing on the Facebook group, I was talking about that today. That uh, Shakur's talking about fighting July. He's That's when he wants to fight.
yeah,
William Zapata fights this weekend. We were
yeah.
going to talk about
Oh,
that a
it's
little
this
later in the
weekend.
show. Yeah, yeah, that's this
Oh,
weekend
okay,
against
hold on.
Maxie Hughes, which is going to
Make
be a good
sure
ass
that I
fight.
watch that, bro. Make
Make sure
sure
you watch it.
text
William
me,
Zapata
write
is
me, text me, inbox me. I want to see what he
Yeah,
talking
that's
about.
going to
Cause
be
you
on
know I'm a
ESPN
Shakur
too.
fan and I ain't going. I gotta
Yeah,
see what he talking about because Oscar
no,
was talking
actually, that's going
crazy.
to be on the Zone. William Zapata will be on the Zone.
Okay.
That'll be on the Zone this weekend. But yeah, he fights Maxie Hughes. I like William Zapata a lot, and Golden Boy works with Top Rank, so that would be the perfect matchup for Shakur. That would be the best money fight for Shakur and the best matchup for him because I've been racking my brain all week trying to figure out who does he fight in July because most of these guys are already wrapped up in a fight. They were talking about this Murata guy who's like 18-0, 16 knockouts, something like that. He fights the 29th of this month. So I was like, I don't know if he'll have that much of a turnaround that fast to be able to fight again in July. But then I saw William Zapata is on this weekend, and I do the math in my head. He can take April and May off and start back up in June. If the fight's not till July 12th, that
Mm-hmm.
gives him a 5 week camp and two
Mm-hmm.
months to recover. 5 week camp
Mm-hmm.
if he beats Maxie Hughes this weekend. That would be an amazing
Especially
matchup.
if he beating easily.
Yeah, and I think I like Maxie Hughes, but Cabosa to me is one of the most overrated fighters
When we
in the
getting the
lightweight.
Cabosa,
He beat Cabosa. He beat
no,
him.
I'm
But
saying when we getting the Cabosa,
Cabosa and Loma, he is
yeah, when we getting that
uh who is it now? Like
Cabosa, Loma Chico, when we getting that?
he lost to Devin Haney twice for
No,
the
no,
belt.
no. I'm saying when we getting that fight. Cabosa
Oh,
and Loma Chico supposed to
that's
be fighting.
that is April son. I'll have to look it back up.
They
April or
ain't been
May.
talking about that motherfucker in a
April, May.
while.
Well, they just for a minute that they had talked about it was already done, but then come to find out it didn't get signed till last week. The contract actually got
They ain't
signed
been
last week,
promoting or nothing.
and I want to say it's the beginning of May, if I'm correct. It's sometime in
Okay,
May
so it's in May.
because that's
Okay, they
why I
got
was like,
time.
the winner of that's not going to have enough time to turn around and fight
I
Shakur.
should
So
Florida
if
now.
Loma
Yeah.
beats Cabosa, which I think he does, he's not going to have enough. That's not going to be enough time for him to turn around and fight in July. So it'd be better to try to get a Williams Zapata, who I think beats Maxie Hughes probably pretty easy. I like Zapata a lot. I
No,
take Shakur versus Zapata, but that's the type of fight Zapata needs to really kind of see where he's at for me. He needs to fight against Shakur to really kind of for me because I like him a lot. He's a good fighter for
what's
Golden
his
Boy.
first name?
William and
I
then
didn't see
Zapata.
that
There's so
shame.
many Zapatas. There's a Jose Zapata also. I
Okay.
think he fights this week or next week, or he fought the week before, one of the two. But William fights Maxie Hughes this week. That'll be a good one, actually. I think, but I favor William Zapata big time in that. All right, let's get to some news, my guy. You ready for this big announcement? I know you've been hearing it all week. Oh, Jake Paul has signed on to fight Mike Tyson for their first fight on Netflix in
Yeah.
July. In July, so which to me that gives what Mike 4 months to get in shape for this fight to really prepare for this fight. How serious are you taking this fight? Is this a gimmick fight, a money fight, an exhibition fight, or is this
Money,
Mike going
gimmick,
in?
exposition. You just named all the shit in
It's everything. It's everything.
It's everything.
Okay. Are you big on this fight? I'm not big on Jake Paul. I don't like watching his fights, but are you
It's
gonna say
Mike Tyson.
yeah, yeah,
Will we want to
yeah,
see Michael Jackson perform again? Will we love to
fuck
see
yeah,
Michael
yeah,
Jordan hoop again? Yes.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's Mike
So
Tyson.
you
You know what I mean?
absolutely, that's exactly what I said. I'm gonna tune in because it's Mike Tyson. I even
Yeah.
looked up the prices for the tickets. The nosebleed, the very top of the fucking arenas, $746 for 2 tickets. I was like, "Damn," like, the nose fucking bleeds.
The nose, you talking
Yeah,
about?
like, when I say the top,
Ooh.
like, you at
Like
the
we got
very,
to
very
look at
top of
it
the
off the
stadium.
screen.
Like, you turn around and be like, "Damn." You see the
Oh
whole
yeah,
city. Like, it's up
yeah.
there, like, the very tip top of the stadium is $746 for 2
Damn, some
tickets.
Super Bowl shit. I ain't thinking.
Yeah, yeah, they're on some like I said, Jake Paul wants to he's a good gimmick as far as making money. He'll be a good, uh, promoter in boxing. Just, I don't take his boxing career
You know
serious.
what they need to do right
Uh,
now, so like people could really tune in. They need to try to like, if I would film, I would do like when they gonna fight.
July, and it's
Okay,
free to all Netflix subscribers.
so
It won't
next
be a
month,
pay-per-view.
so Netflix need to be doing the uh, uh, all access for both of them guys to promote
Yeah,
it better,
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah,
people can see like, oh, or even if it is a gimmick, so they can see Mike Tyson training it, so that
yeah,
people
yeah.
can have it in their mind, like, ooh, Tyson about
Oh
to
my
fuck
god, it's
him
Mike
up.
Tyson, like,
He taking
yeah,
this serious. He ain't playing. He about to smoke. You got to
yeah,
build that up. Us just
yep,
seeing them talk, promoting that shit getting old. I love all
yeah, yeah,
access.
yeah, yeah.
I like
All
to see the
access.
build that, the
Yep.
train and the, you know what I mean? And they should do that with that being that name. Like, because people probably
Take
like,
over.
because everybody like, oh, Mike, smoke, man. He ain't. But if they see him training, like, oh, I don't know, bro. He been
Yeah,
going
yeah,
hard. Little
yeah,
sparring sessions and shit like that. Like, oh, nah, he for real.
yeah,
He
yeah.
just had something to sparring with him. You know what I mean? Like, but that'd be my
Uh,
type of shit.
I'm big on it, man. I like the idea. If you're Netflix, they put a bid in for PBC, they didn't win. They lost against Amazon. They've been trying to get into the live sports, and they wanted to. And they were big on boxing for some reason. So it really tells you that boxing has an opportunity to really kind of jump into this. Like people love fighting. You know what I mean? Since the beginning of time, since the Roman times, gladiators, all that motherfucking bullshit. Since man has been on this earth, we love fighting. It's been the number one entertainment for human beings since the beginning of Earth, right? Two motherfuckers out there battling it out. They got whatever it was, axes, whatever the fuck they had. That's what human beings love.
Mm-hmm.
So Netflix, to me, they're smart to get into this. Like they were smart enough to say to kind of see what I guess Jake Paul's doing to
Mm-hmm.
sign on with him to say, hey, we see what you're doing. We want to start now. To me, how they're going to do the live stream is it going to cost more money for your subscribers to because you know how it is with Netflix right now. I pay like $21.99 for Netflix to have it on all my TVs, all that to get all the top shit that I get from them already. Are they going to add an extra fee for live television and shit like that? Uh,
Right.
so and how their platform is, how they'll set it up is it's all going to be. We'll see how they do with it, how they promote it. It's going to either depend on how they continue to be able to do it, or if they're not, or it's just going to be a one time thing for them. I like it because I'm a Netflix subscriber and, we'll get it free. So that's nice.
Yeah.
Because I just paid for that fucking Ngannou Joshua
I'm
fight.
gonna see if me and my girl can get on the undercard and knock her ass out. Nah, I'm talking
Like, get on up there. Hell
me and
yeah.
you, we both get our girls like we got two undercards.
but like, let's do it. I was first then.
Tie
My
one
girl.
hand behind our back and just shoot hella jabs and see what she
Yeah.
do.
I've been
She
training my
already thinks
girl,
she
but
could beat me anyway.
I've been
Yeah,
training my girl, so I know
for
all
real.
her weaknesses. I mean,
Yeah, my girl be hitting them miss and shit too. She southpaw too. She, I told you
hell
her
yeah,
daddy, but she thinks she be knowing something. So I put the
hell yeah.
body shot on her
That's it. Like, that's what I
ass.
fainted on my son earlier. He was setting up. He's ready. He was like, "No, you can't get through this." I faint came over with a right. I was like, "You was sleeping, motherfucker. You was sleeping."
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what we do on Bourbon and Boxing. We practice on our kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Makes us
Yeah.
better.
So
Makes them.
so
Makes them.
practice
Yeah.
on our kids. Come and get us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Y'all giving out 28 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let
20.
us
Yeah, exactly. You giving people
let us
28 million. Shit. Yeah.
let
Fuck
us
yeah.
split that shit.
I will go nap for 28 million. I'll
What
bring a pillow and everything. I have you over there in the coaching spot. You'll throw
man?
in the pillow as I'm going down, and I'll.
Hey, guess what else? I'm gonna throw in that motherfucker in the duffel bag. Fill that bitch up. While you going down, I'm gonna throw the duffel bag.
Yeah, we're gonna be walking out like we won
Right?
for real.
uh,
Hey, some pretty big signings this week, man. Well, of course, I did hear a fight announcement: Jose Ramirez versus Virgil Ortiz. I kind of saw that fight coming once he signed with Golden Boy. That was a good fight to set up at 154 with Ortiz and him. Uh, that'd be a good one. But Top Rank signed Christian McBilly, uh, co-promoted, and they're doing a cross promotion pack with Eye of the Tiger. I told you about them out of Canada. I like them. They put on some pretty good fights on Top Rank, and that's where this Christian McBilly came from. He's a super middleweight guy that would probably be a pretty good fight for David Morrell, even up against a David Benavidez, Andre Boo Boo. He could possibly be a pretty good addition to that super middleweight for sure,
what's
in my
so
opinion.
what's up with the David Morrell dude? There ain't been no talks about him. The last fight I seen him do, he watched dude. I'm like, man, what the
Well,
fuck?
my thing with him is that at super middleweight, he needs a big fight. But they talked about maybe possibly Boo Boo Andrade, but I heard that that's no, that's not going to happen. Uh, that would be a good fight for him, bad fight for Boo Boo because you
Yeah,
don't want
yeah,
to go
yeah, yeah.
back
I
to
don't
back
like that.
losses. That's
Yeah,
too much
like
of a
not like
risk.
that. Yeah, hell yeah,
Yeah,
not like
it's too
that.
big of a risk for Boo Boo to go face a guy like
What
that and then
about
take back
Caleb
to back
Plant?
losses.
Caleb Plant
Uh,
damn near like a gatekeeper now. I'm gonna say that.
I would
He
I would
damn near.
say him and Plant would be a great matchup.
Yeah.
I think that would be the test for him, really, to kind of say, okay, we're going to bring in a name for you that you could
Mhm.
fight. But even matching him up against Christian McBilly, an up and coming guy just like himself. They're
Mhm.
both up and coming. They both need to really prove themselves in the super middleweight. They both had three really good last fights. So I think that would be a great matchup at super middleweight with Morrell to really kind of get him on that stage of starting to getting bigger names. But we know that super middleweight division is a lot of duck and dodging, man. So those guys up there sometimes stay stagnant because they're not going to fight each other. Uh, but also this week, something I'm super excited about because I'm a huge Bam Rodriguez fan. He's supposed to be signing on to fight Juan Francisco Estrada, and that like Estrada's been a little stagnant. He hasn't been boxing for a long time. Like he's been out for about a year and a half now. But Bam Rodriguez, he jumps back between like I think this is junior bantamweight. He'll be in. Uh, I don't know if you watch much of Bam Rodriguez. Smaller fighter. I know you don't like the lower weight sometimes, but he's like that flyweight, bantamweight.
I do. I
Junior
watch it. I
bantamweight.
catch it on the card,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, like a card. But I really don't. You know what I mean, I don't know. Like, cause I just be one of them guys. I think because I ain't gonna say I don't like it. I just don't like that they don't get the opportunities like to. Because most of them ain't gonna come up to light with like Rashid Warren, Lil Nuke. I just feel like, damn, I wish we could have seen him at least lightweight. You know what
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying?
Moving up and
Yeah, like
yeah,
it's
because
just
they're such small build and frame that their body's only gonna allow them to go up to a certain point.
yeah.
That's kinda what Bam does. Bam jumps around from the, 112 division to the 117 division, back and forth between that, gaining belts. But he's just man, Bam is something special to watch, but it's like you said, Is he going to run out of opponents at a certain point? I would like to
Mhm.
see him move up enough to maybe be able to take on an Inoue. I think their styles really match up well. Two guys with great footwork, great hand speed, great ring IQ. But yeah, I think that fight against Juan Francisco Estrada, he's a vet, so that's always going to be a really good fight for Bam. But he can go up, grab that lineal WBC belt from uh, Juan, also who holds that belt. So that'll be a title fight, be a good one. No, I think June 29th, possible date set. No set date, but they're talking June 29th for that. And then, of course, did you hear old Ali got inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame? I didn't know
Who?
he had done yeah. Muhammad
Muhammad
Ali.
Ali?
Muhammad Ali got
What?
inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. I didn't know he did a few things with him. Like in '78, he did like a special guest referee appearance there. Did a
Okay.
few things later in the '80s with him.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
see
know
that.
he was that involved with WWE, but yeah, that was something cool to find out. You know,
Yeah, I know that.
also Top Rank signed Jalen Walker, and they parted ways with Duke Reagan out of Cincinnati.
Who did
Yep,
Top Rank?
yep. And here's what I found out. He was supposed to be on that Raymond Ford undercard, and
Oh, he was supposed to fight.
he was supposed to be on that undercard. Something delayed him from being able to fight. Top Rank feels that he wasn't he wasn't filling the obligations of the contract. He had called out of 2 fights before that,
That's the
and then he
money
called out of
fighters,
this fight.
man. That should be hurting
So,
my
it was one of
soul,
those
man.
things that they understood the loss of his father and all that kinda stuff, but they said his inactivity and pulling out of fights, 3 fights already is if I'm clear, that's what he's pulled out of. Don't quote me on it, but I know what they're saying about 3 fights he's pulled out of, so that was the reason for them just parting ways with him.
What? Where you see that at?
I saw it on my boxingscene.com. They were on there talking about how they parted ways with him, but I don't know what his next step is now. But like I said, he was supposed to be on the
Ah,
Raymond Ford card. He pulls out, so who knows where he might be mentally, what I mean, dealing with
bro.
stuff right now. But I think he's got some talent. I would
I ain't
hate to
gonna
see
lie.
that go
I'm,
to the wayside. You know what I mean?
I ain't gonna lie. I'm biased, but I'm a root for him because he's from here. But
He lacked power for
this
me.
couple fights, he didn't win. Like,
His last 2
you know,
fights were really
but I ain't
just
gonna
not
blame it
entertaining
all.
fights.
His father passing, that's a big part of, but he still lack power. Like, and
Yeah,
then it's like, damn,
yeah,
like, oh no, man, I don't know, man. That is, I
yeah.
can't even say, man. I can't speak on to me losing somebody close to me as
Yeah,
you did,
exactly.
but
It took me a minute to get over the loss of my mom and shit like
yeah.
that. That weighed on me for
He
at least 2
might not
years,
even
man.
want it like he did when his pops was here.
Yeah,
His pops probably
and
was the
maybe
one that
that was his
made
yeah,
it want it. Like he
yeah, and
probably
that
don't,
was
you
his
know what
whole
I'm saying?
drive was his father. So
Yeah,
sometimes
so
people are like, "Look, I spent my whole life in the sport, and I
yeah,
did this for my father, and with him no longer being around, you may not have that drive to want to continue, or even going back to the back into the gym might bring back stuff that he doesn't really like. What I mean, mess with him a little
yeah,
bit. But
man.
hey, we're
Damn,
just
man.
being a natty boy wish him the best. Hope he can get back with another promotional
For
company.
sure,
Get
man.
back out there in the ring because I like his talent. Don't want to see him go by the wayside and us be talking
Mm,
about, you remember Duke Regan? What happened to him? So let's just
mm,
wish the best for him, man. Hopefully he can bounce back and find him another promotional company, man, and get back on his feet, man. Best wishes to that dude.
mm,
Uh,
for sure.
this week's fight schedule, if you want to go over that real quick, Colin Wash is going on tomorrow versus he's a guy out of he's a UFC. UFC is getting in, I guess, getting into the boxing shit, trying to. So this
Yeah,
Colin Wash kid fights for them. He hasn't really faced anybody. Uh, but he fights tomorrow night, and then you got Nathan Haney, 18-0 versus Brad Pauls, 18-1. That's going to be on TNT Sports Saturday night, and then Saturday night, the big fight this week is going to be William Zepeda, 29-0 versus Maxie Hughes, 26-6-2. That's going to be 8 p.m. on the Zone. main fight this week, in my opinion. That's the big one. That's the one that you're the most interested in. I like that fight for William to get an opportunity to maybe fight Shakur in July. I think that'd be a good matchup.
Yeah. I can't wait
But
till my
man,
boy get back on.
but I ain't got much more to say. My wife's banging on the floor, getting on my last nerve right now. What are you doing? I hear her messaging me on Facebook, ding, 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 or shit like that. So yeah, I'm gonna jump off here. We're gonna wrap this up, man.
Okay, brother.
Once again, another episode of Bourbon and Boxing with your boy Jeff and your boy.
Big Spade, man. Like,
Yeah.
subscribe, comment, man. Show the love, man. Blow us up,
That's
man.
it, man. Let's get us
When we
up to
take off, man, we ain't
yeah.
gonna, we still gonna show love, though. You know what I'm
Absolutely,
saying? But
man.
come on,
Always,
man.
man. We want to give anybody opportunity wants to come on do an interview. And I felt bad with Tawan, man. I didn't give him an opportunity to talk about if he had any fights coming up. You know what he was doing with his amateur boxing,
Yeah,
anything like that. So anytime he wants to come back on, we'll give him the platform to
okay.
really
Yeah, for
showcase
sure.
what he's
Yeah,
doing,
yeah.
kind of talk about his
Dedicate,
career. And we
dedicate,
got
yeah,
off so fast,
dedicate,
and I
yeah.
thought about it later. I was like, damn, I
Yeah,
ain't give dude an opportunity to talk about
yeah,
what if he had a
dedicate,
fight
yeah,
coming up, what was going on with his career and shit like that.
yeah.
But
Right,
yeah, hopefully we can get him back on and let him do that little thing for himself.
for sure.
But yep. Thank you guys for joining us, man. Episode 53, 54. I kind of lost track there for a minute.
54, 54, yeah.
54, episode 54, that's right. But yeah, like, subscribe, do all that cool stuff for us. It only takes you a second. Well, what was your saying last week? It was
I
like take
forget, bro.
something with a click.
I come off the top with this shit. Just
It was
hit the click
crafty.
and make it hit the click and make it stick. I don't know.
That's
Yeah,
right. That's
you know
right.
what I
That
mean?
was it
That's
right there. I like
like
that saying.
subscribe, comment, man. Let's go.
All right.
Yeah.
Ding ding. Thank you guys for joining us, man. Have a good night.
Yeah.
Bourbon and Boxing.